Ulster did their old nerve-jangling trick of conceding a bucket load of points towards the end. Jacko Piper, who refereed the league game between these two sides, is the referee, and delighted to have two of the top analysts in Ireland with me, Stephen Ferris and Alan Quinlan. Very expensive talent. As you know, the price of gas has rocketed.
Well, I tell you, we make a good back row if we were to bring David Wallace up with us. Fez, you'd have to go number 8 anyway. I wouldn't be playing 8.
Well, on field, the microscopic margins between pain and glory in winner-take-all rugby, emphasised in Marseille last weekend when Leinster went down to La Rochelle in the final play of the game. So, boys, as we have our first stoppage for the scrummage, what drama awaits in this Irish knockout derby?
I hope a lot, Robbo. Not a great start by Peter O'Mahony. Got up to collect that ball and knocks it on. And then there was a slight knock on by Ulster. But I tell you what, these are the games you want to play in. Irish Provincial Derby, quarter-final, knockout, winner Boss Quinney.
Yeah, there's a lot of pressure on both sides for obvious reasons. You get into a semi, but neither side will want to go out in the quarter-finals. You know, Johan van Gran is moving on, Stephen Larkham. A lot of pressure, tension, reaction from both sides. I think both coaches will want a reaction.
Yeah, it's a slip. Yeah, it's a bit of pitch there.
You mentioned Peter O'Mahony's mistake there right from the kickoff. I think ideally you want to limit your mistakes, because
let's find just a better spot.
Let's hope it's not mistakes that kind of move it towards either side for winning this game. But there's going to be a lot of pressure, and I think both of us are expecting a lot of big collisions and a real physicality to this game.
Iain Henderson, the Ulster captain. Munster have won the last 3 in a row against Ulster, and I wonder, can we give Munster a third Heineken Cup by proxy after the tactical performance from the coaching team of La Rochelle, Ronan O'Gara and Donncha Ryan, proud men of Munster, of course. What scenes in the port of La Rochelle after that victory against the big favourites Leinster. So it's John Cooney on that 100 appearance who waits, and it's Billy Burns who finds Robert Baloucoune, looking to add to that total of 10 tries for the season, and Peter O'Mahony making up for that early knock-on. My goodness, he played brilliantly against Toulouse until he had to depart with that stinger injury.
Off the foot, play on.
And he does have this knack of playing his best rugby when it matters most. Here's Nick Timoney. He must be in the running for Ulster's player of the season. Surely he will go to New Zealand on that 5-match tour with Andy Farrell, who's in the crowd with Paul O'Connell tonight. Here's McCloskey and James Hume, Ulster's first choice centre pairing, and what a centre pairing it has been this season. Herring pulls it back for Billy Burns. Brother Freddie just played his 100th game recently for the Leicester Tigers, and off goes Stuart McCloskey. I cannot wait for the first head-on collision between him and Damian Allende. Billy Burns threads that ball through. Back goes Andrew Conway. Lots of strapping on that troublesome left leg. Oh, Mike Healy gets it charged down by James Hume. A mistake by the Munster fullback. But fortunately for him, there's a knock-on by Ulster and some relief.
Yeah, very fortunate for Mike Healy there. I think the pass from Andrew Conway is much too high. Big wind-up. McCloskey blocks it down. He's very unlucky there. Healy's very lucky that Ulster knocked that on. Very risky business, but going back to the previous turnover from O'Mahony, Fez, I'm not sure what Ulster are doing going down the short side, not resourcing that ruck. Peter O'Mahony gets turnovers, but that was an easy one, no clean out at all.
Oh, super easy. One-handed, he went into that breakdown, picked it up, bobbled through the legs of somebody, and then Munster were on the counter-attack. It was a lovely box kick put up by Conor Murray. Munster couldn't regather it. But both sides actually look a little shaky. I know there's huge pressure, as you referenced, Quinney. The team that settles quickest into this game gets a foothold.
It's interesting, this is Munster's 26th knockout game since they last won a trophy in 2011. They've won 10, reaching 3 finals. Ulster's 20th knockout game since they last won a trophy, the Magners League, in 2006. They've won only 6. And it's Ulster's 10th knockout game under Dan McFarlane. They've won 4, 2 of those in the European Challenge Cup at Harlequins and Northampton Saints. So clearly neither side able to get the job done consistently in these knockout stages of competitions.
Yeah, it's a solid scrum from Munster, but again, I think Gavin Coombs just a little bit slow there. Conor Murray nearly got blocked down. The wind has actually picked up a lot here, so he went for height there rather than distance, and the wind stopped it a little bit. It's a really good attacking position from Ulster. They're shortening this line out to 5.
Numbers.
McCloskey kind of standing at first receiver. Marcus Ray, Timoney, big runners. Will they go there?
68% of Ulster's tries have started from lineouts this season in the league. Off goes Stewart. McCloskey making those gain line meters. Over 55% of McCloskey's carries have made over 2 meters through contact. It shows how effective he is with the ball in hand. And now it's Mike Healy playing superbly this season, the man who scored 2 tries against Cardiff. Munster almost pouncing on the break.
Almost pouncing.
Okay, no more quick.
Mike Healy there.
No more quick.
Chipping it forward a couple of times, regathered it, but what a pass off the left hand from James Hume to get it into Baloucoune's hand. We'll see it again here. Look at this. Beautiful. Keith Earls caught no man's land. Coming up to try and close the gate. And it ricocheted a few times before going out of play.
He did well, didn't he, Healy, to block that little kick through from Baloucoune.
Wycherley gets his hand on the ball in the line out, but actually it's putting Munster under some pressure here. It was flapped back in frenzied fashion, but it certainly showed that Munster are prepared to compete on the Ulster throw.
It's a sloppy execution, isn't it? And you know, it's the worst nightmare for a scrum half when you're slapping the ball down like that. Not a lot Conor Murray can do there. It's risky passing back in field, but he'll not be happy with Wycherley there slapping it down to him.
Remember in Limerick in January, it was Thomas Ahern who was competing on the Ulster ball very effectively, I have to say, and his 6'9" frame is on the bench tonight. And this time it's well taken by Alan O'Connor, hurling to McCloskey. McCloskey getting through Candellan, but there's been a fumble on the floor again, I think. Have they given the ball back to Munster? They counter-ruck with some ferocity.
And
so failing to accurately hold on to the ball there, Ulster, which will disappoint them. Conor Murray now 33 years of age,
ball's available and
96 caps, 8 Lions tests, 4 starts for the Lions in test matches. And it's well taken by Robert Baloucoune and well offloaded as well to Alan O'Connor, who's won the tackle machine of the season in the URC with a tackle percentage of 97.5% success rate.
Yeah, just around the neck.
Well, they did everything well there. Munster just putting pressure at that breakdown, and in the end there was an arm around the neck from Finian Wycherley and Duane Vermeulen, who gives him that going forward. But Fez, Stuart McCloskey carries and then tries the offload. Unnecessary. You want him to get over the gain line and give the opportunity to go forward and get quick ball from it.
Oh, what a start by Stuart McCloskey to this game. We give him the big build-up, we give him the hype. Pre-match, Andrew Trimble and myself, and Wally, of course. And he's been excellent, his ball carrying. But you're right, that offload, it just didn't need to go. But Mark Robson, what a kick by Billy Burns into the corner.
Yeah, it's perfect, and this is one of Ulster's real attack points. Close to the line, the driving maul. Would you believe Rob Herring has 31 tries now for Ulster, and of course most of them have begun from positions like this. Taken by O'Connor. Now, can they get their shape right? Munster will have worked, I'm sure, this week on defending against the Ulster maul.
And once! They come. We can come.
Rob Herring hoping the men in front of him can do the job they are paid to do here. And they're getting a little bit of momentum. They're getting a penalty advantage as well. Cooney wants the ball. Finds McCloskey. Uses that strength and step again. And here is Cooney. Right in the Stuart Moore coming into the line. Dump tackle by offside. 2 Munster defenders, but the offside they come back for. And it's right underneath those posts as Henderson and Candellan come together. One thing I noticed in the Toulouse game, Quinny, was that Candellan suffers no man as Ulster go quickly. Nobody had an eye on the ball, and Ulster Ulster were sniping sharply to score the try. The man who was watching, though, most importantly of all, was Jacko Piper, as John Cooney took his chance.
Well, there was a scrap going on here down on the 22, and Munster players got distracted by that. You've got to look up. Watch, he just taps it quickly here. I think it's McIlroy. John Cooney out wide. Conor Murray, Damian Allende. They're looking shocked, but you've got to look up and see what's happening. There was nothing indicated there. He's entitled to tap that penalty. The crowd were even shocked here by that, and Munster have got to regather.
Yeah, we're not
what a kick, Fez. You said it. Billy Burns put him down in a great position. Initially, Munster repelled that maul. Then they have the penalty coming, and they presume they're just going to kick it. You've got to stay switched on there.
I'm not going to lie, I didn't even see the try being scored. I was sitting watching Iain Henderson and a couple of others. I think it was Wycherley going toe to toe. About three or four other players.
I think Henderson started the fight as part of the cover-up.
Yeah.
Everybody was watching that, weren't they? But really sharp by Ulster, and then the conversion from John Cooney. What a start for him. The centurion for Ulster scores all 7 of Ulster's early points.
A brilliant start by Ulster. Munster haven't found first gear yet, Quinny. All over the place, giving away penalties.
And it was James Hume. It was James Hume that took that quick penalty. It was hard to see here with the sun, but you've got to stay switched on, Fez, and they just didn't there. And they've got to get up the field. They've had no real possession, turning the ball over a few times.
Joey Carbery with the restart. Ulster's turn to drop the ball this time. John Cooney's going to work hard out of that little cul-de-sac. Being selected again ahead of Nathan Doak. John Cooney, despite the fine form of Doak through this season in big games. Dan McFarlane trusting a player who's now closing in on the veteran stage to this quarter-final of the United Rugby Championship.
It was good,
that's a good exit by Ulster there. Bit of a slip up by Nick Timoney, but the ball goes backwards, and then John Cooney actually regathered it, recycled the ball, got himself back into position, and a lovely box kick to get the ball off the park, Quinny, and that might be something that we see quite often tonight, just for Ulster to reset.
It's just about managing the game. They just got to score. You want to clear your lines, not mess around with it. Look, Munster still have a line out here, and they've got to execute. They lost that last line, or slapped it down badly.
Scannell to O'Mahony, and here is Carbery, and it's Gavin Coombs on that flat ball. Out for a couple of months with an ankle injury, ill earlier in the season. Will he be up to game pace and game strength? Seemed to have lost a little bit of weight through that illness earlier on.
No.
Much of that dynamism is there in the legs and body of Gavin Coombs, but Ulster again interfering, but away goes Mike Healy. Knock on Ulster, but certainly both sets of players are targeting the ball.
They are, and Munster, some good clean-outs there, some good carries, but if Iain Henderson is told to go away here, well, then he's got to retreat, I think, so he's got away with one there. And that's what Conor Murray is saying to Jaco Piper. You know, Jaco Piper saying, no, you can't play it. Then you think he's halfway up the side of the rug, Fez, but they're the ones that sometimes goes your way, and it went Munster or Ulster's way at that time.
Well, the breakdown last week, the referee, Ulster Sharks, a couple of weeks ago, the referee stood and watched the breakdown like a rubbernecker at a car crash. Didn't really do very much. Certainly wasn't much whistle blowing. And Jaco Piper has a reputation for, let's just say, allowing things to develop with the breakdown.
Set.
Cooney's feed. And Stephen Archer being driven upwards and inwards. Good scrummaging by Andy Warwick on the Ulster front row as Hume places the ball through for Baloucoune, and it rolls away to Munster's advantage. But Stephen Archer, his 248th appearance for Munster, now becomes the second most capped Munsterman of all time, but he was under a bit of pressure there.
He's under a bit of pressure, all right. Andy Warwick, what about Andy Warwick? Only a number of starts last season for Ulster, but he's definitely the starting loose head prop for Ulster these days. Completely turned his career around in the last 18 months. He's good to see the big licence, as he's known here in Belfast.
Okay, yeah, all there.
He's got an HGV licence. He's also the cousin of Johnny Ray, the 6-time World Superbike champion. He's currently second in the standings this season.
Interference.
And now we've got a penalty to Munster.
Yeah, well, Munster have gone to the front there a couple of times just to try and secure a ball, but that's a poor penalty from, I think it was Alan O'Connor. He just pushed O'Mahony in the back. Mahony gets out in front of him. He's very good at that.
Number 4, was it?
Superb line-out, but it's a poor penalty to give away. It's an easy opportunity for the Carbery to put it down into the Ulster half, although it wasn't a great kick.
No, not a great kick by Carbery.
You can watch it here. O'Mahony gets in front. It's just that left hand. It's a poor one. Probably done it a few times myself, but when you watch it, you have the luxury of watching it from the stand here. It just lets him out a little bit there.
I think he did it with more force, Cooney, than on that occasion.
They didn't police it as much back then.
Scannell to Wycherley now. Connor. Oh, and there's a complete confusion there in midfield. McCloskey looks up.
Advantage is over.
The Conway Comet looking for the corner. And that's going to bounce away for Ulster here. Didn't get the kick that they needed. Remember the bounce of the ball that La Rochelle got towards the end of the final last week, when the ball bounced backwards towards Johnny Sexton. He tried to find an escape route through his fullback Hugo Kieran. It eventually led many minutes later to a try for Retier and La Rochelle, which shows you that the importance of these micro moments and how the bounce of a rugby ball can make the difference between being on your own try line and 80 minutes further down at the other end of the field.
That was cruel. That was a brilliant kick. Just an incredibly unlucky bounce for it to go. It more or less bounced on the 22-metre line and rolled away over the dead ball. So we come right back. We're used to seeing Stuart McCloskey pick up the ball and run through people. I thought it was actually a lovely kick when it left his foot.
The kick was good, and but Munster, after getting away with one there, very, very sloppy attack from that line-out. Didn't really know what they were doing, who they were passing to, and they've got one away. Got away with one with McCloskey's kick. He just ran the length of the field. I think the kick was the right option. It's interesting the way they've lined up now. Earls, Healy right behind Carbery. Which side are they going to go?
Yeah, they're stacked on the line, aren't they? You saw France work a move like this during the Six Nations when Intermac was at out half. Dupont was at 9 then. Here is Murray. Look, again, it's really scrappy from Munster. Ball going to ground inside the Ulster 22. Desperate lack of accuracy as Jean Klein carries the ball. 5 times CAPT Irishman, though born in Krugersdorp in South Africa. Murray, pass accurate now. Off goes Chris Farrell. Had such a good game in defeat against Leinster. A lot of good carries, beat plenty of defenders. Joey Carbery can do that too. We all know that. Scannell carries well too. Puts Murray onto the front foot. Archer comes round the corner, but he gets driven back. Good tackle by Warwick. Kendallen. In comes Ray with a tackle. Ulster's turnover king with 19 this season. Gavin Coombs assisted on the latch by Wycherley. More like it from Munster. Murray looks for Archer. Munster going direct.
Was it number 4?
Is this the way to beat this Munster side? Farrell, another man well over 17 stones. They've got a mighty-sized midfield of Munster with Farrell and Allende.
Second advantage for
Scannell.
No, leave it.
Another advantage to Munster. Murray plays it beyond Coombs, and here is John Klein. Coombs goes in. Coombs goes through. Does Coombs get to the line? So close. And that might be the weakness of this Ulster side defensively. If you go hard and straight. And now Munster plunder
off the foot
underneath the posts.
If it's not a try, we're going back for 2 advantages.
That's more like it, Quinny. That's more like it. Hold on to the ball. Ball retention. I actually think Gavin Coombs scored
I believe
the Fias earlier. Just on the right-hand side of this upright. We're going to see it again. A really good carry there by Klein. Just there. I think he got there.
So hits the foot, goes up. So unless you can see a clear knock.
John Klein, the try scores, and Jacko Piper saying the ball came off his foot. Just watch closely here before he grasped the ball and then scored.
It's a hard one there. I think he may have regathered it. touched it with his
So
hand,
it
but
does come off the
regathered
foot.
it.
Now let's see if it clearly goes up. It's not a knock on yet. It's not a knock on
Does he
yet.
regather though?
Hands under the ball.
I think he does regather.
Yeah, I think he does regather. I don't think the ball hits the ground, Robbo.
And then he grounds it. So
I think it's off
Morris,
the foot
can you
and he catches it
definitively say that he knocked
a
that?
couple of inches from the ground. Just hear what the
Careful,
referee
you
said.
cannot stick with your on-field decision.
Yeah, so
the ball is clearly from his foot, and then he regathers it and he scores the try.
Okay, good. Thanks. Yeah.
It is a try. It's going to be a simple 2 points for
It's off
Joey
the foot,
Carbery. But
bounces up,
Stephen
he
Ferris,
gathers
you've been
and
telling me
scores.
all
There's no
season
knock.
that's the way to break this
Doesn't have
Ulster
to,
side
he
down.
gathers. So
Look,
he's got
Ulster,
the ball.
1-2 men in the breakdown maximum. It's a white wall all the time, but they just get up and they fold around the corner. They're never looking in at the breakdown. They're looking at what's out. And that first channel off Joey Carbery, or those longer passes off 9. All of a sudden, Coombs comes very short on the other side, the narrow side, the blind side, whatever you want to call it, and then they're in behind him. And from there, Quinney was a really good pick up to get the try, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. He got lucky there. There was a penalty coming. It hit John. The ball shot out of the ruck, but it's better for Munster. They're a bit direct, and they've got to. I think they've got to go forward before they try and go around Ulster, and they've tried some intricate moves and stuff like that. But that time they were more direct. Some good carries. Niall Scannell actually made 3 really good carries there. He started the game well for Munster.
Restart from Billy Burns. Bad news for Ulster. Andy Warwick walking very slowly to the touchline, especially after the impression he made on Stephen Archer in that scrummage. So Eric O'Sullivan is on early for Ulster in that loose head position. Conor Murray. And it's going to stay in play. So here comes Ethan McIlroy. Scored a brilliant try through the middle against the Northampton Saints in Europe. A couple of tries against Toulouse. That looked a little bit high on Rob Herring, but play on, says the referee, as Iain Henderson looks for those post-contact meters that Stuart McCloskey has delivered so consistently for Ulster this season. O'Connor and Ulster have let the ball slip again, and it's Joey Carbery plays the ball through for Keith Earls to chase. John Cooney puts in the sliding centre half challenge.
Brilliant by John Cooney on his 100th appearance for Ulster tonight. You could just see him as soon as the turnover was there. He was on his bike. He could see that the kick was going to be put through by Joey Carbery, and Keith Earls tried to nudge it on himself, but excellent cover there. Good footballing skills by John Cooney to get it out of play.
Ulster's Van Dijk, eh?
That was brilliant from Cooney. He just switched on straight away there. I thought Keith Earls looked a little bit hesitant himself. Cooney, brilliant from him. He saved a certain try there. It's another turnover from Munster though. They become that bit more physical and reacted after that, conceding that try.
4 men in the line out. Peter O'Mahony is the target. Conor Murray to Gavin Coombs. Runs at Rob Herring and Tom O'Toole. Oh, and again, that's the 3rd time in the match that Munster have shown very poor accuracy from the pass off the base. Here's Carbery.
There's the ball.
So they've got to recollect, reset, build those phases again through try scorer Jean Klein. Here's Damian Allende, such a force in midfield. Scored that match-winning try against the Exeter Chiefs. You may have seen the amazing inside offload from Simon Zebo that set that try up at Limerick. Wycherley, the younger, the loose head carries, good carry. Here's Murray for Chris Farrell. Held up by Alan O'Connor. Murray, Wycherley once more. Nice little flick for Carbery. Good hands to Coombs.
Not held.
Munster 17 offloads, would you believe, against Leinster. Though they did lose the game 35-25. Damian Allende gets away. Conway outside him. Ulster having to scramble fast to cover the ground. Murray, Coombs, brilliant. Archer, has he got the pace to make the line? No, the tight head is not. Murray, Farrell inside for Cooney. Ulster in all sorts of trouble here.
Leave it.
Great physicality from Munster. Healy, O'Mahony, Carbery, brilliant. Robert Baloucoune, he had to read that perfectly. And my goodness, did he deliver in defence for Ulster.
What a read by Robert Baloucoune. Ridiculous read. Just simple hands. Oh, it was nearly away, Quinny. He nearly got it away and regathered it. But I'm telling you, the way to get through this Ulster defence is through the guts. And I thought Stephen Archer was going to run it in from 30 yards. But a brilliant tackle, Quinny, there by Rob Baloucoune.
Brilliant tackle, and I think probably the mistake Peter O'Mahony made is he just ran a step forward. They just probably needed a little bit more depth, but you can't see the guy on the outside shooting in, and I thought Carbery's hands would have been good enough to get it away. He saved a certain try there. Some great carries from Munster, final little pockets around the fringes, as you said, Fez, but they've come right back into the game and they've become more physical and brought more of an intensity.
Well, Ulster have won their last 2 URC fixtures since they lost to Munster in April. Ulster's only home defeat that was in the championship. Lovely hands by Hume to Baloucoune. Here's Moore for McIlroy. McIlroy's all goes through. Oh, that is glorious rugby. Sleek, slippery and clinical as they find the fire breaks in that Munster defence.
A brilliant try, straight off the training park. Rob Baloucoune, the man of the moment. He stopped a certain try and then he's just created one. Look at him just hovering around in the backfield. Lovely hands by James Hume. Then the afterburners, lovely pass. Ethan McIlroy, we've hardly mentioned his name in the first 20 minutes. A little offload out of the back of the hand. And Stuart Moore, normally see him in the centre, playing fullback today. Gets over for Ulster's second try.
I think what Baloucoune does brilliantly here is he doesn't get selfish when he runs on. He gives the pass straight away and he's going to track on the inside, but Allende Farrell just got a little bit bunched there. It was simplistic, great pace in the ball. McIlroy stepping back in the end. I thought Keith Earls would get him. Kendall and then doesn't tag the ball, and simple but really, really effective. Loads of pace in that. Munster will be disappointed when they look back. They just got a little bit narrow, but great awareness from the Ulster backs there. We know they can do that, and I thought Baloucoune was so brilliant there.
Well, that's why this Ulster back line has been the talk of the town, talk of many towns this season, because they can produce spectacular rugby like that.
It's a 14-point swing, isn't it, really? You think Carbery, if he gets the pass away, it's a try to Munster, and this is what Ulster do right from that penalty. Lovely soft hands, wasn't it? And it's that pace going between Andrew Conway. They just got lost there, the Munster defence. But it's difficult to stop that when you've really good crisp passing, players running onto the ball.
Joey Carbery, oh, it's great height on that restart. And again, not total conviction.
It's back off White.
From Ulster that comes off White, so it's Munster ball. Here's Damian Allende, and now Coombs comes into the line for Farrell. They're looking for the width, as they did against Leinster. Now Carbery. Murray, little switch for Coombs, ball goes out of play. But Quinny, you're talking about those microscopic moments, those mini moments. It was Baloucoune who stopped the attack and Baloucoune who made the try at the other end.
Yeah, that's what good players do, and he's just grown and grown the last 12 to 18 months.
Okay, we've got to play it down.
Munster just a little bit sloppy. If they want to win this game, you just can't keep doing this. Good position, good attacking position on the Ulster 22, and you're just making it easy for the defensive side, aren't you, Fez? Ulster delighted just after getting a try. They now have a breather, scrum or line out, clear their lines, play tactically well, and you know, Munster just got to tidy up a little bit. You cannot little bursts, positive bursts, but you've got to be accurate and hold on to the ball much better than that.
You certainly do. And just a little bit of lack of control by Conor Murray. It's a couple of times. A few minutes ago, we seen him change the direction to go down the short side and just threw a pass to absolutely nobody. And then again there, that has to go into Coombs' bread basket. He's a huge man. He's going to get you a couple of yards down the tram lines here. Conor Murray needs to step up. It's not like him.
Billy Byrne's injured as he seems to be in most matches, but he generally seems to recover as well. Iain Madigan on the bench if needed. Herring in the setting sun. Up goes Duane Vermeulen. Can he get Ulster to a URC final? He captained Toulon in a top 14 final 5 years ago. Cooney. Off goes McIlroy, but that was never staying in play.
Now you're talking about mistakes. That's a little bit sloppy. I would just go long if I'm John Cooney there. Just get out of your own half. Vermeulen wins the line out really well. It's a good platform. Cooney's just creeping forward. I think he's got to go long there.
Yeah.
You're just inviting Munster back to attack again, and you know there's a score in at 7 points.
We're going right.
You're just keeping them in around that attacking zone there, and let's see if they can execute now. Ulster have got to defend this.
Kingspan has hosted 3 previous playoff matches in the URC, with Ulster winning all 3 against Neath in the 2001 quarter-finals, Scarlets in the 2013 semis, and Connacht in the 2019 European Cup playoff fixture, if you remember that one. Of course, it wasn't always the URC. It's been all sorts of guys as this competition. Off goes Damian Allende again. Outside Conor Murray.
Ball out.
Taken on by Gavin Coombs, and he's really getting into his rhythm, isn't he, Coombs? Getting that carrying game going. Off goes Wycherley. Did he knock the ball forward in contact there? He did, but very clear to see what Munster are trying to do there.
Coombs is just so big, so strong. He's just a big man, always making ground. But all that hard work it's not really leading to anything, Quinny, because just another mistake creeping into the game, not securing the ball, getting into contact. Stuart McCloskey with the rip.
Yeah, again, both sides attacking the ball carrier and the ball that they are carrying.
Keep tight, nice and square. Thank you.
It's been one of the noticeable little sideshows in this game.
Crouch.
So Ulster
Bind.
close to conceding another try under their posts. Get a chance to clear their lines. There goes Sullivan on now. Good scrummage. Cooney to Stuart Moore, uses his left boot. Cross comes Mike Healy, plenty of strapping on that left leg. And off goes Healy, hauled down by Hume. In comes McIlroy. And in goes Nick Timoney.
In front.
And Ulster get the penalty.
That player touched it, he's in front of him. Offside position.
Again, that offload didn't need to be thrown,
No,
but it should have been collected by Conor Murray. It should have been collected.
9.
It just seems like he had it in his hands, and he knocks it on offside then, Quinny, and it's a penalty. A game full of mistakes here in the opening 29 minutes.
They're getting the invitation, Munster. Then you say Josh Wycherley knocked it on or lost the ball with a great tackle from McCloskey, but you think if Munster can build a little bit of sustained pressure, they can get scores. But if they're just giving it back to Ulster like that, well, both sides have done it in this first 29 minutes of the game. They haven't had it for long enough.
Vermeulen, Herring. Here is McCloskey. Taking on Kendellen now. Tom O'Toole carrying well. John Cooney. McCloskey at first receiver. And it was O'Mahony who got in the way. Murray thought he was away. But Holly Davidson, I think, signalling there was a knock on. Jacko Piper looks at the female assistant touch judge. She will referee in her own right. Italy against Portugal later on this summer.
There you go.
I think Ulster actually get away with one there.
Thanks.
Munster's defence coming up on the eye line. Stuart McCloskey with no other option. So he thought just to nudge it through. Could have bounced up easily into Conor Murray's hands. Just a slight knock on there.
McCloskey, 28 defenders beaten this season in the URC, 19 offloads. And as I was saying, over 2 metres of post-contact mileage made in 55% of his carries. Nick Timoney working well off the back there, and in goes Iain Henderson. Brilliant by Henderson. Look at that work from the quadriceps there from Henderson. Now it's O'Toole, the Ulster captain, showing his mettle, why he's of international class. Lovely offload from McIlroy to McCloskey. Ulster trying to keep the continuity going here now. And it's Ray to Burns. Here's Hume. Is there space on the outside? And it is Stuart Moore, who is brilliantly tackled by Keith Earls, doing what Robert Baloucoune did not very long ago. But Ulster had a spare man on the outside. No, it's O'Sullivan. Cooney yet again. McCloskey inside for Vermeulen. Cooney to Ray. Kendall brings him down. Cooney, Billy Burns, now James Hume outside Baloucoune. It goes to Moore, and Stewart Moore. Does he get the grounding? That's the question.
Not seeing
as Ulster again look for the width and the pace they have on the flanks.
Yes,
we have not got a grounding.
Yeah,
Therefore, on field
I don't know if he looks that
you
confident, does he, Fez? But it's very impressive from Ulster. Great pass again to get that width, and Munster just bunching a little bit tight. I think they're quite concerned with McCloskey's carries and Hume, his ability. Sometimes you know by the player, yeah, he's given the nod there. Or is it, does he look confident, Fez? We'll see it again. This pass is brilliant though.
No separation in the press.
And it's a pass from James Hume out in front. He tries to fend. He just needs a little bit of pressure on that. They'll probably have to have a look at this one from behind.
He's holding the ball.
It's all about separation these days. There's been a new directive brought in this season. If there's no separation, then it's a try.
Just not sure he has control. I know exactly what you're saying about the separation. Does he get any bit of I think does he lose it, Fez? It's a hard one to call, isn't it?
Well, if there's no separation, that's a try, and that's what Marius van der Westhuizen is looking at the TMO.
I think it's the other angle we need. I think it's the angle. That angle looks like he's definitely put pressure on it, but from the other side, the ball looks 6-8 inches away from his hand.
Can you hear me?
It's really difficult to see.
Now, yes.
From that angle, we cannot see any clear separation.
And there's grounding.
And there is the grounding.
So I overturn the on-field decision and award a try.
That's correct.
Thank you.
What a time to score again. 3 tries now for Ulster, and they're getting punished by Munster, getting punished here. That width, we saw the try a few minutes ago. Great attack. Just simple width there. The pass from James Hume. Munster is very bunched. They're waiting for the Ulster forwards there midfield. You can see Niall Scannell. He's panicking, isn't he? Chris Farrell. Keith Earls probably gets in a little bit tight there. Doesn't tag the ball, and it's a great finish from Moore.
What about James Hume's passing in this game, though?
Brilliant.
Yeah, it's been really good. Top drawer. That's what the Irish coaches here tonight will be wanting more of from James Hume.
Cooney, listen to the crowd. Virtual silence, but they can celebrate that try as Ulster extend that lead to 19 points to 7. 7 minutes to half time.
Ulster always fast starters, score a lot of points in the opening, usually in the opening 20 minutes. And Munster always come good in the last 20. But they've got a challenge on their hands here. Munster need to find another gear.
Another really high restart from Carbery, and here is Duane Vermeulen, all that World Cup winning experience, player of the World Cup final. 36 in July he will be. High tackle.
Just a high tackle
by Munster.
Yeah, they're just making life so difficult for themselves, turning the ball over, giving away penalties. And I think that kickoff is really poor from Joey Carbery. It's way too deep. Vermeulen has a load of time to catch that. You've got to try and make a contest of it. You know, from the kickoff, 5 or 6 minutes left before half-time. You're just after conceding. Try and get the ball back, get the next score, because I think if Ulster get the next score, it's going to be a mountain to climb for Munster to get back. And just too many poor decisions there, and the execution is letting Munster down. And I don't think Ulster having to overly work to get those couple of scores. They've just pounced, haven't they, Fez?
They've just pounced. Just simple. Hold on to the ball, get around the corner, come back the short side a couple of times, and then Baloucoune and McIlroy are just keeping huge width on the play.
Good take by O'Connor. Was he taken out? He was. And that's another daft penalty to give away. The high tackle round the neck, deep in Ulster territory, and then to give another one away a matter of seconds later. Stephen Archer, I think, is the player penalised again.
You can't back up a silly mistake with another one. It's always what the coaches are saying. You know, you got to make the next moment a positive one. Stephen Archer, the amount of experience that he has. In fairness, it's not Stephen Archer. John Klein there coming through.
Yeah, John Klein. It was Archer was in the close-up, but Klein, I think,
Bit of a
the man who was
soft one.
penalised. Yeah.
It's a tough one there. They're kind of throwing him across the lineup, but you can't make contact there.
Here comes an Ulster maul again. Alan O'Connor taking the line-out ball. Rob Herring in possession. Herring trying to see if there's any chance of purchase down the blind side, but there's none. So here is Cooney, taken on by Ray and O'Toole. That's Eric O'Sullivan, very mobile prop forward. Good with ball in hand, Rob Herring.
No more.
Good stuff from Ulster. Now John Cooney switches the play. McCloskey goes down to the ball. Keith Earls in very close attendance. Ulster have done well to recycle. Alan O'Connor goes into carry again. 200 carries, tackles this season for O'Connor, but he can carry too. Now here's Hume. Such a superb season for Ulster. Being capped now by Ireland as well. Cooney, it's really slow ball for Ray. So they got to start again. In comes Wycherley. Cooney, and it's McCloskey, just flips the ball to the man on the hat-trick, Stuart Moore. It's all a bit slow and pedestrian at the moment. Ulster have got to generate some pace from somewhere. Billy Burns to Tom O'Toole. Munster trying to slow it down through Kendallin. Billy Burns flips it behind. It's Hume again with a superb pass for Baloucoune. Oh, a penalty against Ulster there as they come in off their feet. But one of the standouts in this first half has been the quality of the Ulster 13's passing game.
Yes.
Alex Kendallin there questioning Jakob Piper. Thought he got his hands on the ball, and they're doing this really well, getting width in their game. Just goes off his feet there, Stuart Moore. A little bit harsh, that one. Munster hanging on, and really, really crucial with the scoreline as it is.
Oh, that's another really poor mistake by Munster, giving the ball straight back to Stuart Moore. Cooney, Billy Burns to McCloskey, gets straight and gets inside Allende. That will really annoy the South African. Big step by McCloskey. So that's a one-up in the personal battle, but McCloskey has let the ball go in contact. Here is Conway. Back goes Iain. Henderson, the captain. What work from the skipper to cover that ground into the corner, and then to make those vital meters to make it easier for the Ulster defence.
A vital couple of minutes here, Robbo. Ulster clear their lines, hold out.
And use it.
John Cooney needs to give his team a breather here, if anything else, and find touch.
That's exactly what he needed to do. Put it into the corner. Just take stock a little bit. Ball comes loose there. McCloskey is.
It's good enough.
Conway doesn't get away. There's a lot of cover there, isn't it? But look at Henderson, the determination to get back and to get back on his feet then as well. Incredibly impressive. Ducks in under Andrew Conway, gets this leg driving, going forward again. It's a poor miss stuff from Joey Carbery, isn't it? The penalty, and we've seen too many mistakes. You've got to put that one into touch, Fez, and I think they're just making it really difficult for themselves. They're down here now, and I think it's really, really crucial. We've just over a minute left that Munster even get a penalty here. They've got to try and get something, come up with a strategy. They're having a chat there.
Conor Murray's heading off, Craig Casey on. Yeah, a lot of unforced errors from Munster.
It's coming from good
half.
pressure as well from Ulster. Good defence, stripping the ball, being aggressive. I think we've seen kind of spurts from both sides. Munster had a 10-minute period there where they were very physical, and then they just, after that Robert Baloucoune tackle, they just dropped the level, and Ulster found a bit of energy from somewhere.
There's those restarts, Cooney, and that, as you say, penalty missing touch. The knock-ons, the passes that have gone to ground off decent ball from Conor Murray and others. Scannell to Mahoney. And it's another error. That's what I meant. It's that kind of error that must be massively frustrating for Munster and the coaching team.
Yeah, Niall Scannell's actually complaining. He's walking over to get the ball. He's been moved. He's been shimmied sideways. Then he pulls the ball right behind his head, and the line-out call's been given. He's frustrated, really frustrated. Munster just feel like they're not getting the rub of the green here at all.
We'll work at it, no problem. But at the time of the throw, you were right in the middle.
Is the clock right, sir?
Yeah.
Right?
Jacko Piper will
Let's
be
set it up, please.
the referee in the second test between Ireland and New Zealand in July. 5-match tour in the land of the long white cloud. 3 tests, 2 games against the Maori. Probably bring a squad of around 42 players to be announced in a couple of weeks' time. And of course, Paul O'Connell and Andy Farrell are in the Kingspan crowd tonight.
Set!
So Ulster will be looking to take a good lead into half-time, and McIlroy says that will do on a hot evening in Belfast. It's Ulster who are on course for the semi-finals. It was a pickpocketing try from John Cooney that got them underway. Munster responded through Jean Klein, and then
They certainly are. Half-decent crowd out tonight at the Kingspan Stadium to support the men in white Ulster. Down in the fan zone there, plenty around the food village. There was plenty of Munster fans that made the trip as well, coming up the road like yourself. But they haven't been given much to cheer about in that first half.
They haven't. Munster were very inaccurate, turned the ball over a lot, and just couldn't build any phases. They looked dangerous a couple of times when they got into the 22, but got over the gain line. Coombs was strong, some good carries, Scannell, but just turning it over at crucial times.
Joey Carbery is a new permanent half-back partner in Craig Casey. Conor Murray failing that HIA. Craig Casey 7 tries in the URC this season, and of course now an international, 5 caps to his name, 1 start for Ireland. Sure will be many more starts ahead. Here is Cooney, score of that cat burglar style try, and Baloucoune takes that ball really well.
No,
Cooney didn't move it very far down the pitch, did he? But the Ulster right winger doing his job, and off goes the Ulster captain now, Iain Henderson. Cooney finds Billy Burns and Stuart McCloskey.
A release.
Takes a couple of Munster defenders to drive him back. Cooney once O'Toole to get into position. He was waving frantically behind his back. Cooney to Moore.
Number 3. Without the ball. Number 3 without the ball.
And it's a player tackled without the ball. Another penalty against Munster. Stephen Archer is a player penalised, and it's another one of those penalties that Munster have given away that feel unnecessary. Was that an accurate call?
Yeah, very unnecessary, and that's 7 penalties to 2. And again, that's an area that's kind of hurting them. A few good turnovers from Ulster in the first half, but that's a poor penalty from Stephen Archer there. Just, you want to keep Ulster. They've got the line out now. Even if they clear the lines, Munster would have had the line out in an attacking position. I'm sure Johan van Graan wasn't too pleased, and his coaches at half-time with Munster's performance in the first half, but Ulster, good score line to protect.
Connor's take. Cooney to Burns, and now McCloskey, and Hume. What a line from Hume. He's got support from Timoney, and Timoney is away here for Ulster. Is that the knockout punch in this knockout round from Nick Timoney? His 8th try of the season in the 2 competitions, could be the most important of them all.
He's going to run them in all day long. 7's back round, pace to burn. We've talked about him all season long, but look at this, little deft hands, and it's Allende. He's on his way out. He doesn't head in. It's a beautiful line from James Hume. A nice pass as well. Good pick up, and what a score. Allende hasn't been at it tonight.
I think Kendall has got to push Joey Carbery out one, though. He's the 7 on the inside. Joey Carbery sits down, thinking that Damian Allende is right beside him. Lovely little hands, and brilliant line from James Hume. He's so good at that. And then the pass back inside, Timoney, You wing forward, open side tracking on the inside, exactly where you want. What a start for Ulster in the second half. Munster had a little bit of territory there, and then they find themselves back under the sticks, and it's a mountain to climb. Brilliant from Ulster though.
And another Ulster try scored from a line out. 3 brilliant tries scored from the back line too. And what a match James Hume is having, delivering those inch perfect passes. And John Cooney looking very focused. Big scoreline now, but should remind Ulster fans that Ulster have wobbled at the end of several games this season against the Sharks, Clermont and Northampton, all at home. They did win all 3, but there were a lot of heart murmurs in the Ulster crowd in all of the matches, but no heart murmurs from Hume. Looks like the coolest player on the planet right now, playing with such confidence.
Back off Red.
Ball comes back off Healy.
Back off Red.
Try from Jack O'Pyle. Casey. Hume came up out of the line. I think he was considering the intercept. Now he's got to chase back defensively. He's not brought down, so he's able to create some space for himself and the rest of his defence. Marcus Ray, Gavin Coombs does well, puts the shoulder in hard.
What's feature?
Cooney, oh, it's charged down. It's going to be a try for Coombs, is it? Gavin Coombs on his comeback after injury. He stayed so sharp and alert. John Cooney was sluggish on his 100th appearance, and Munster gives themselves a big sniff.
Well, it's a lifeline, isn't it, that they probably didn't deserve, but to be fair to Coombs,
hang on,
they're going to check this,
yeah, there's no
see if he got the grounding. Yeah, he did get the grounding there.
Doesn't get it down first before red.
Okay, so your on-field decision remains dry.
Yeah.
Okay. Marius, on-field decision remains dry.
I think it's going to be a try.
Like it is a
Probably right to check it. Cooney, no block, no one blocking at the side of that ruck, Stephen.
Yeah, nobody there protecting John Cooney. But
separation. Okay, Marius. He's not carrying the ball. It looks like there's separation.
Yeah, just give us time for another angle.
Okay.
Well, that angle does not look quite so positive from a Munster perspective. Watch the right elbow here. Or does he roll onto the ball without separation? That's the question. We're back to that word again. Oh, it's another tough one for Marius.
Okay, those are the angles.
Yes, from the previous angle, it looks like the ball clearly separates from the forearm before he grounds it.
That's correct.
Okay.
You can overturn your on-field decision from try. It's a knock-on red.
And it's in goal, so it's goal line dropout.
Yeah, that's correct.
No try.
And boys, those are those microscopic moments. For Stuart Moore, it was literally a millimetre, and millimetres on that occasion too.
Goal line.
it was, and a cruel bounce again. John Cooney got away with it. No blocker at the side of the ruck.
Goal line dropout, yeah.
And it's a goal line dropout.
So we're going to award it.
I thought Gavin Coombs is protesting that.
Goal line dropout.
Yes, the ball did hit his arm, but it never got away from it. He sort of rolled his arm up the ball and then grounded it. Really difficult to see, but you're right, Robbo. Absolute
Those small
millimetres.
That lifeline is gone, and Andrew Conway is gone now as well. Carbery's gone to full back. Ben Healy in it out half.
And here is Ben Healy. Now Chris Farrell, good defence from Ulster, and it's the front row in midfield. Gavin Coombs must be gutted not to have been awarded that try. It was so close.
No!
Iain Henderson, no, get away, says Jackal Piper. Henderson looks lovely, the referee, but gets no kiss in return. Off goes Keith Earls into Ray. McCloskey at him as well. Earls gets a knee to the ground and gets tackled around the neck as well.
Well, hang on. Option. You've got three options. You got option. It's offside midfield.
I've been impressed by Gavin Coombs. Been out for so long.
Yeah,
and he's been Munster's best player by a long distance tonight.
Penalty over here, penalty over there.
Could he be a man, Quinny, to make his way onto the plane for Ireland in the summer?
Yeah, he's been in the squad previously and highly thought of. He's been very dynamic, hasn't he? Such a big, strong player as well. And
I get that.
Unfortunately,
Get your point.
he's been probably Niall Scannell early on. He's been the one that's been making those carries, getting over the gain line.
It's amazing, really. Coombs, despite his illness and his injury, is still 140 odd carries and 11 turnovers this season. 15 tries last season, 21 tries and 50 appearances for Munster. He must have felt that was a 22nd there in the corner here in Belfast. Niall Scannell finds Jean Klein, the big man from Krugersdorp. Kendall and Scannell in possession. Craig Casey has his mitts on the ball now. Rips it away from Scannell into Allende. Brought down by Burns. Scannell. Klein again. Already a try for him. Casey might just have a nip himself here. He was so close. Short, says Piper. This is how Munster scored their first try, by hammering away at those white shirts close to the line. Henderson waits to burst from defence. Coombs can't get over now. It's Wycherley. Oh, they've knocked the ball on. Every time they get close to that Ulster try line, right now, something negative occurs.
Well, it's good defence, isn't it? Some great carries. Klein got a great carry there, but
let's go off that patch.
I just think it's sloppy out of Munster. Ulster are so bunched in. You can see Robert Baloucoune is even inside the post. Why not just look for a... Is that knocked backwards there? And not... I don't think it went forward. It was slapped out of his hands backwards.
Yeah, Munster actually scored a try at home a couple of months ago when the ball was knocked back and it popped up. I think it was Candellon's hands and he got over for a try. Just no luck there.
Very important hand in there though, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. It was.
Crouch.
But what about Munster, Quinny? Penalty advantage, and they don't even give it a lash. You know, just almost slow the game down to take the penalty to kick the corner. Surely put a high ball up in the air, you know, challenge the Ulster fullback. Just
9.
And then give away another stupid penalty.
You can't go wide, you've got to go through the back. Number 9, wide of the scrum. Got it. Number 9 just...
It's hard to fathom that, isn't it? Just hurting themselves again there, and you know, crucial things happening. The turnover just previously, not their night it seems. Coombs, the try that we thought was a try. Just penalties, turnovers, nothing happening from. But you've got to generate that momentum yourself, and they just look static. Munster, they look tired, pedestrian. Yeah, and he is offside, Craig Casey, clearly.
You've got to go back to the last feet if you want to do that. No, you can't you can't do that.
And it's a correct call from Jaco Piper, isn't it?
Well, Stephen Archer, who gave away at least 3 penalties on his own, is off. John Ryan is on. John Ryan, who's off to Wasps next season. Jeremy Loughman, number 17, is on as well. Yeah, the self-inflicted damage Munster have done tonight. Coombs unfortunate, as we saw, and maybe that wasn't a knock-on the line, as pointed out by Alan Quinlan. In comes Mike Healy, superb from Healy. Oh, there's space for Carbery. Great tackle by James Hume, and then the knock-on, and James Hume punches the air.
Yeah, very frustrating. I'm frustrating as a bit of a neutral to see Munster play the way they're playing. It's really, really poor skill set. You know, just a simple pop up off the floor.
I want to help you.
You know, you have
so
school
if you want to go
kids
wide, just drop to the back.
every Saturday morning
on the mouth.
practicing that skill.
It's just too many mistakes.
Just confusion all over the place, Quinny.
Yeah, and Ulster have got that surge of energy, and when you're leading by the score they're leading, they're 19 points up. They just, every little mistake the opposition make, it gives you a surge of energy. You see the reaction from Hume there, but that's sloppy. Mike Healy did really well, caught the ball on the run, back in field. Carbery, to be fair, is nearly away. It's a great cover tackle.
Big scrum, super scrum from Munster. Well, we expected to see the fight and that fire in the second half from the men in red.
Should have been seen it earlier though, because
Number 2 under
it
pressure.
is a great scrum, to be fair.
And away go Casey trying to do a Cooney.
This is a different mark though. Yeah. Just over here.
Talking of Cooney, he's got a problem with his pectoral or shoulder. Ben Healy, under 20 Grand Slam winner a few years ago with Ireland, into the corner.
And it's tricky for Munster, I would say, because you know it's hard not to focus on the mistakes and the lack of cohesion that they've had in the game so far. But they've just got to try and be calm here, Faze. Get a score, give themselves a chance. There's nearly, there's probably 28-30 minutes left in the game. There'll be a bit of injury time. Just get a score, be patient, be efficient. I think it's now or never. They've got to score here to give themselves any hope of getting back into this game.
Chris Farrell's at the front of the line out. Peter O'Mahony takes it. Farrell joins the drive. So too does Allende. So they bring about 33 stones to the power brokers of the pack. Advantage to Munster. Can they go all the way here? Ulster struggling to defend this. Munster keep pile driving. Casey's going to have to use it. In they go low. Ulster hold them out. Casey, Keith Earls. What a brilliant finish by Keith Earls. Kept the ball in his right hand, threw his body in the air, and that looked like a classic Earls finish. It'll have to be checked.
Yeah, they're going to check it, just see was he in touch.
We'll have a look now.
Yeah, just a quick
It looked like a spectacular finish.
But on the corner flag, so let's just make sure.
It's a lovely pass out in front of John Cooney. Yeah, that's fine. Good. Great finish from Keith Earls. It's a lovely pass, isn't it?
No.
Goes right across the face of John Cooney. Just gets Earls on the outside.
Just give me a moment, please.
Great line from him.
Yeah, that's good.
That looks like a try, okay.
Yaku, you can stick with your on-field decision of try.
And it's his 63rd for Munster. He'll be 35 in October. Just signed a new contract. He's brought a book out this year. Brilliant book it is too, called Fight or Flight. And Munster need that fight. And is that the beginning of the fight back against Ulster? Carbery trying to draw it in.
Yeah, just hung it out there, Joey Carbery. I'm surprised Ben Healy didn't take the kick. He's been very accurate with his kicks to touch and with his positional play as well since coming on the pitch. I think Peter O'Mahony, when he went over to the referee to ask the question about the penalties, was it cynical play? Did it maybe deserve a yellow card?
Knock on by Keith Earls just after scoring that try. Keith Earls, who scored a try here in April in the opposite corner, right-hand corner, the one he's defending right now after a lovely break in hands from Chris Farrell. But the error there, again the error from Munster.
There you go.
It's unbelievable, isn't it?
No player picking it up, so no offside.
No, he did brilliant to finish the try, and that's very uncharacteristic, like Keith Earls. And it's killing him, all these mistakes and turnovers.
Okay.
Just got a great score there, and
just wait on that timing of the bind.
Come up with another mistake. Hedge scratching stuff.
Nice and stable.
Really is. Very stop-start, especially in the second half.
Just a reminder as we approach the final quarter, as Paul O'Connell, bald these days, but recognisable by the ginger eyebrows, beside Andy Farrell. Dead giveaway, that. Here's Baloucoune. Runs into Craig Casey and also Ben Healy.
Yeah, ball's out, play on.
Nudges him out of the way. Casey responds against Cooney, and that's great work by the Munster replacement scrum half. But Ulster it is, who get the penalty for not releasing. And the player who comes up, grasping the ball, almost a bursting point, is the captain, Iain Henderson.
Yeah, Craig Casey did brilliantly there initially, but he turned the ball over and then just got isolated, and Baloucoune carried well, didn't he?
Good.
He shot a lot of power, and he's aggressive. The aggressive collision side of his game has improved a lot. Henderson's been big tonight for Ulster as well, very confrontational. He said it to you before the game, didn't he? It's about finding that edge and being really physical. It's a really good carry. Got a little bit loose. Casey does well to drive forward. He gets the ball then.
Yeah. Right where you
Munster players are off their feet. Henderson gets his hands in there.
That's a good turnover. Really good turnover. And he just seeing a little window to go after it. Well, Casey's brought up a bit of life, hasn't he, to this Munster side?
Well, Munster have lost all 7 away games they've played in the playoff stages of this championship. Is this going to be the 8th? And will this be the end of the coaching legend of Johan van Graan? Johan van Graan's 13th knockout game it is as head coach of Munster. They've only won 5. Are they about to lose another? Still plenty of time in this game though. And remember, Ulster do have this habit of imploding.
Don't be saying that, Robbo. Come on, we want a semi-final. Well, I certainly want a semi-final next week.
Hang on a second. A few moments ago you said you were a wee bit neutral.
He was telling lies there.
Yeah, he was.
More fumbling, and the restarts have been pretty awful all round. Errors abounding.
Just going very deep with those restarts. If you want to try and win the ball back, try and put it along the 10-yard line. Now 17 points down. You're kicking it pretty long. John Cooney getting a great reception. He got a heavy knock on the shoulder. What a replacement to come on. Great night for Cooney. Wasn't at 100 cap, and he played really, really well.
Ulster will be hoping, first of all, that they win tonight, and also hoping that John Cooney will be fit for the semi-finals if he's needed. But they've got to get past Munster first. And Munster do score most of their points in the URC in the final 20 minutes. Nathan Doak is on, 20-year-old whippersnapper, and finds Stuart Moore, 2 tries to his name. He's got a big boot, Rob Carney-like, and here is Joey Carbery. And he's off after that one. Can he catch it on the full? He wasn't quite quick enough to get there. Gets there eventually. Iain Henderson holds him up. In goes O'Sullivan.
No.
Munster ball it is though. Will they go to the wide channels? They do. Damian Allende, Keith Earls outside. Goes round John Klein. Damian Allende. Second looked like he might have been ice. Oh dear, dear, dear. Well, he hasn't played for 2 months, Gavin Coombs, but how many mistakes of that nature have Munster made tonight?
It's hard to figure out why there's so many of them happening. This is a really good pass. Right in the breadbasket, he just takes his eye off the ball, and it's hard to be critical of Coombs because he's played really well and he's been involved in everything, any bit of go forward that Munster have had, but it's hard to sum it up really and figure out why it keeps happening. The sloppy passes, the turnovers, the knock-ons, the penalties. You just can't win a game with that amount of inaccuracy.
3 more playoff games tomorrow. The Bulls play the Sharks, Leinster play Glasgow, the Stormers play Edinburgh. And as I'm sure you noticed this week, the Sharks, the Bulls and the Stormers will all be in the Champions Cup this next season. So that means there'll be more South African teams than those from Scotland, Wales and Italy combined.
George, he's going down and then he's telling you, wait a second.
Oh, right, now I understand. Yeah. Oh, I didn't listen to that. I'm taking my time.
Sullivan getting a bit of treatment. They've already lost Andy Warwick, so don't want to lose any more front row forwards. Seems to be okay. Chris Clute in the 6-2 split on the bench. Clute's off to Bath next season with Johan van Graan. He's got a big rebuilding job to do down in the West Country.
Crouch! Boyne!
I think for Munster the changes should have been made earlier, probably after half-time. After that Timoney try, bringing him on in 60 minutes is not a lot of time with 20 minutes to go.
Burns for McIlroy.
First man.
One of those pre-planned moves, but it's been stolen, turned over by Kendall, and brilliant by the 7. Klein back for Carbery. It's another knockout, and away goes James Hume, trying to punch the handoff in.
Advantage
Here
is
is
Doak
Doak.
on.
McIlroy, and now Rob Herring in that wide channel. Stuart Moore comes in, counter ruck by Peter O'Mahony. Ulster just about hanging on to the ball. Vermeulen to O'Toole. Nathan Doak exploring the blind side. Now sucking in those red shirts. There may eventually be space on this side if Ulster can be patient through the phases. Munster desperate to get their hands on the ball at the breakdown, throwing the bodies in there. Lovely tip from Henderson to Timoney. Superb leg drive from Timoney.
Ball's available.
Doak to Burns. Is this the moment for Hume? Hume rolls his way to the line. But does he get it onto the grass in the Kingspan? Yes, he does. Another Derby Day diamond from Ulster.
You're losing your voice, Robbo, talking about James Hume. He is that good. So many good words you can say about him. All season and tonight, he has delivered. Chris Farrell with the 13 jersey on his back from Munster. He has played him off the park tonight. Absolutely off the park. And look at that. Just an injection of pace, Quinny.
But Stephen, brilliant, absolutely brilliant from you. But what's Ben Healy doing? He's just saying run into this little gap. And you can't do that with a player of Hume's quality. His footwork, absolutely brilliant from him. What a player. Great acceleration. He just accelerates onto the ball brilliantly there through that gap.
Wry smile from the water boy, Jordy Murphy, to celebrate the Hume try. James Hume actually made his debut against Munster 4 years ago, and Nathan Doak taking over those kicking duties. 36-12. Can you believe that scoreline?
I definitely can't believe it. We heard Dan McFarlane talk all week in his press conferences how tight the games between Ulster and Munster have been in the past. It's going to be really edgy, cagey. Ulster haven't had to play really well tonight to have 36 points on the board.
Restarts. This time it's clean, well taken.
Nothing clear to me on this.
Nice and sharp. Nathan Doak finds his captain. Iain Henderson. 68 caps he has now for Ireland. Henderson.
Got a goal from Tim Oates in there. Thank you.
Jeepers. I mean,
too early.
But the kickoff again, he was early in the tackle there.
Just
but
early.
I just can't understand why you kicking it down into the 22. Put it along the 10-yard line. Try and win the ball back. You're 24 points down.
well, if this isn't a tactical plan, Van Graan and Roundtree will be...
But you've got to make a decision as players out in the field as well,
exactly,
Robbo.
but that's what I'm saying. They'll be breaking the glass in the coaching box.
But Ben Healy is kicking off the ball there. Surely one of the forwards, if it's me or Stephen Ferris and we're playing, I'm saying put it on the 10-yard line. I want to go and win it. Look how deep it is. Healy goes in early and more, then it is a penalty, but it's just been too easy so much. Ulster have been really accurate when they've got the opportunities, and they've executed brilliantly to score the tries they have, but Munster just giving them so many easy outs and easy opportunities, turning the ball.
Henderson takes Doak, Billy Burns, here it is McCloskey, Robert Baloucoune, another one of those scrapbook moves by Ulster. Baloucoune looks for support. Oh, he's He's still going, showing great muscularity. Munster trying to haul him off the ground to win the turnover. And they've done it.
Yeah, they do well to hold him up, Munster, but what a line, what pace. Lovely pass again. I thought he was going to back himself on the outside there. He saw Keith Earls and just hesitated. Brilliant acceleration, just outstanding, such a big player. Gets outside Chris Farrell and watch the gas there. Earls did well, in fairness to him. I think he has him, even though Baloucoune is incredibly fast. Thomas Ahern, Kendall and Chris Farrell get in and hold him up there. But again, it's great front football for Ulster, isn't it?
Well, it's been a one-match highlights reel for this Ulster backline so far. Is that all Ulster class, or is some of it down to dubious Munster defending?
It's a little bit of both. I think Ulster have been really accurate in their passing, and you know they haven't had to build 10, 12 phases to get those tries. Just really crisp passing, getting in the outside channels and using the pace, and Munster just becoming a little bit bunched. And we probably haven't, bar the first 20 minutes, seen McCloskey punching up. They've put it in behind him. He's become a playmaker a little bit. So I think they've been very tactically good, Ulster, in what they're doing.
Work it out. Just keep your shoulders up first and I can come out. Just say that again.
There's been a decoy on occasions tonight, semi-decoy if you like.
Yeah, and you're thinking a little pass he gives James Hume for that Timoney try. Brilliant, brilliant. Munster thinking initially he's going to carry, and then they think he's going to put it out the back door. Hume runs that brilliant line.
Ben Healy to Farrell, nice angle from the big fella who was on the Ulster books originally. Healy again, and Hume makes the tackle. Casey to Loughman, pulls it back for Allende, who's away at the end of the season, having served Munster pretty well. Good thundering defence from Ulster, but they're going to concede a penalty.
Hands on the floor.
Hands on the floor.
He's on his hands.
Over the ball, penalty.
When you counter, don't go on your hands and go beyond
Kieran
the ball.
Treadwell on, 5 caps now, back in the Irish reckoning in the Six Nations this season.
Your favourite player, Robbo, as you always tell me.
He'll not be pleased, though, to be sitting on the bench here, and I think you can see his counter-ruck there. It was McCloskey who was kind of crawling on the ground there, but quite lateral from Munster. And now Ulster can afford to sit back a little bit and defend and just soak up a bit of pressure and, you know, offer Munster the wider channels, because they probably don't have the same pace to hurt them out wide.
No, they certainly don't. Keith Earls signed his new contract extension until the end of the Rugby World Cup 2023. That just sums Munster's night right up there. Absolute shocker.
By White. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, getting the hands in to disrupt the throw from Diarmuid Barron. But there was a knock on.
Okay.
No doubt about the winners here.
I just heard it.
The Ulster
I just
side.
heard it wrong. She said knock on red. I heard it right.
Unless there is a mighty implosion by Ulster. They will be away in the semi-finals to either the Stormers or Edinburgh. If Edinburgh win in Cape Town, they will assume home status in the last 4. Billy Burns goes off to join his original halfback partner, and Iain Madigan comes on.
Crouch.
33 now, Iain Madigan. Formerly of Leinster, Bristol and Bordeaux. Or Bordeaux and Bristol in that order. And he's won 2 Champions Cups for Leinster. Here it is, McCloskey for Hume again. And that's that little short ball for McCloskey. Here is Madigan, McIlroy, Moore cannot get outside. Farrell, good tackle. Timoney.
He's fine.
Treadwell tries to clear.
No.
Wycherley doing his best to roll away, says Piper. He's got to get east or west. Nathan Doak does a little head twitch dummy that scrum halves so enjoy. Here is Carbery, and now it's Healy. Runs into McCloskey. Casey. Ben Healy, was he going to go here? Nowhere to go. Cul-de-sac by the Ulster defence. Carbery for Healy, nice pass to O'Mahony. Earls outside him. Plenty of Ulster defenders there though to bring him down. Jeremy Loughman, good little pass inside for Thomas Ahern, and away goes Jason Jenkins, the monstrous South African, 6'8", 20 stone. Munster a man down injured, the amount of space on the outside. Allende throws the pass for David Barron. Can he get past Stuart Moore?
No,
he got through Madigan. Casey carrying again is Jason Jenkins. Casey, good tackle by Treadwell.
Play the ball.
Casey is Barron standing off.
No,
O'Toole and Timoney making those tackles around the corner. They come again using Jenkins once more. Casey tries to do what Mike Healy did against Leinster, sniping around the right through that little narrow channel on the edge of the ruck. Kendall,
No, it's all right.
John Andrews tackle.
No.
Closing in on the
Here's the
final
ball.
10 minutes, and surely too much for Munster to do here, even if David Barron can get there. Madigan prevents him from scoring, but Keith Earls will get in for Munster, their second try. They're going to need a lot more than that in a very short space of time, but it's a start.
It's a start. Correct me if I'm wrong, Robbo. 64th try for Keith Earls in a Munster jersey. Really easy finish, but this is the injection you want off the bench, Quinny. Big man, powerful running.
Yeah, you just think if in the first half a couple of those pick and goals and one or two in the second half, they're getting a bit of space out wide. Ulster were quite narrow there. It's probably too late. I'm sure it's too late. And unfortunately, he misses the kick, Carbery, and probably more worrying is Thomas Ahern. I feel sorry for him. He made a great little breakthrough there and an offload to Jason Jenkins for that break. He looks like he has a serious leg injury as well.
Yeah, Carbery missing the extra two, but yeah, Thomas Ahern moving very, very slowly off the field. So that's going to be a long off-season, pre-season for Ahern. Helped away by John Klein and the medical staff. Sad sight. Madigan long almost hits a seagull. Lucky escape for the big bird. Farrell pulled back for Healy. Oh well. Well, Munster have to attack from deep now. There's no option. But firing passes straight into touch will not help their cause with 8 minutes to go.
It just makes the picture a lot worse, doesn't it, when you do that? Lovely wrist action. Just, I don't know, it's a difficult one. He's maybe hoping the player's running onto it there, but it's too much to ask.
Get closer, please. Get closer.
You're probably looking to contrast to some of James Hume's passes early in the game, on the money, out in front. You can see what Ben Healy was trying there, but just didn't execute.
Matty Ray, the older brother.
And use it
The starting
once.
six, Marcus takes that line-out ball. Off goes John Andrew. Can't be too many Barbers in Ballymena. Doak for Ray.
Off your feet, lead. Well done.
Carry from Treadwell now, Nathan Doak. Ulster looking to finish with a flash and another try. Doak for O'Toole.
No hand.
Sets it for Doak. Treadwell once more.
No
Hammering
more,
into
no.
those defenders.
Off.
Loughman was round his ankles. Off goes Andrew into Healy. Ulster building patiently. Phase count growing, and over the ball,
Squeeze ball
goes Chris Clute. The referee says squeeze
Leave
ball.
it.
Clute actually was injured here at the Kingspan
You can go.
in the act of poaching a ball when they were here in April.
was a
It was only
squeeze
on the
ball.
field about a minute,
The Jackler
and he
couldn't
was
get
on
to
the
it.
ball quickly there.
Yeah, he's sniffing around a couple of those breakdowns. That's his biggest strength, isn't it? Did well there.
And he'll be joining Johan van Graan next season at Bath, of course.
Full it is.
O'Mahony, Casey and Healy. Casey again for Peter O'Mahony. Not a lot the captain could do now. Casey a little bit caught there in terms of his decision making.
Trouble, yeah.
There was another player down injured.
Trouble, yeah. You could hear him.
Straight away, Jacko Piper blew the whistle. He's in.
Yeah, he's in big trouble here. Whether it's an arm or a shoulder after popping out. And again, this is the tough part of sport, isn't it, Fez? You've been through so many injuries myself, and just seeing Thomas Ahern gone off, it's hard enough for these guys now, and they're picking up a couple of serious injuries. I hope he's okay. Thomas Ahern didn't look good, but
just while they treat Baron Cooney, you know, obviously Johan van Graan is leaving at the end of the season. In comes Graham Roundtree as head coach, Mike Prendergast, Dennis Leamy and Andy Kiriakou. Larkham going back to the Brumbies. What do you think of the change? What do you think they have to do, and what legend does Johan van Graan leave?
I don't know. It's I always worried about them losing here tonight, given that they lost against Leinster's second string in the last day in the Aviva. What happened against Toulouse was a bit of an energy lifter for the fans, for the players themselves. Heartbreaking in the end, but we've seen some positive rugby in the last couple of months, but the last 2 weeks, that Leinster performance and the performance tonight just makes it difficult to see where the positives are. I think the positives are the young players coming through, the excitement about Leamy coming back, Mike Prendergast, Andy Kiriakou, Graham Roundtree taking over, a change. And I think you would hope that a change will instill a bit of belief, confidence in the skill set, and give them more tools and weapons to play a little bit more expansively and improve their accuracy. I think, you know, at no stage this season can you fault any of the players for not trying or not, but I just think they've been pretty bland at times. We've seen some really great ones. You think back to the Wasps ones in the Wasps game, the Champions Cup. There's been some highs, but not enough. And going out in the quarterfinals again makes it a really negative end for Johan van Graan.
Release! Lost it.
Allende with a carry. And Kendallen.
White never back on side.
Offside against Ulster. Casey prone on his belly, gets the pass away somehow. Farrell goes round the outside. Is there a try at the end here for Mike Healy? Ducking and diving and hop-scotching. But John Andrew makes the tackle. Still on that advantage. Casey round that blind side for Carbery.
Never back on side after the break.
Will come. But 36-17 with 5 minutes to go. There's no way Munster can get back from here. Oh, Madigan comes in and hits Casey, and Loughlin didn't like that bit of pushing and shoving.
Yeah, Madigan's got the hand up, apologising. Oh, there's no malice in that. We'll come back to the penalty middle of the post.
He thinks Craig Casey's taking it quick. Gives him a little bump there.
Okay. So you can have the option. Do you want this penalty or do you want that one? Okay. We're moving the penalty.
Just tap and go. Tap and go. Get the pace into it.
Man.
Kick into the corner. Waste another minute.
Without using arms.
Throw the line out in. Look, get into a huddle. Waste another 30 seconds.
So Scannell is back on. O'Mahony takes.
Advantage.
76 minutes on the clock. Scannell, can he get underneath Ray and Andrew? Trying to disrupt that Munster ball for Casey. Now Loughman. He's very close here, Loughman. Casey fires it out. And if Ulster got their hands on the ball, they have, but penalty advantage.
It's a pretty clear collapse. Next one will be in the bin.
Yellow card for the next offence. And there's another scuffle under the post.
Just hold on.
Stop.
Whoa, 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 whoa!
Stop.
Suits Ulster down to the ground. Nice scuffle.
Everything Munster are doing right now are wasting seconds.
Great to see, Rebel.
Scannell Wycherley takes 77.5 minutes gone. Niall Scannell
Good. Use it once.
looking to put a little bit of tinsel on the scoreline, but that's all it's going to be. Healy for Farrell. Oh, it's intercepted by Ethan McIlroy. Ethan McIlroy screams away, didn't quite have the pace. Stuart Moore on a hat-trick. And Ben Healy is back for Munster. Well, there's players all over the field. Kenlon mashes the ball straight back to Ulster. What was he thinking about? And McCloskey, look, I wish you could see a wide shot of the entire pitch to see where all the players are.
The legs holding him.
Incredible stuff, isn't it? And Chris Farrell was sure somebody was outside him running a short line. But credit to Mike Healy there. He never gave up. The easy thing, Bez, there would be, you know, the game is gone.
Let's go.
Just give up. But he showed great determination to get back there and close that gap. You can see it's wide pass. Chris Farrell is sure Carbery's running the short line. But look where Healy comes from. To be fair, keeps going, gets back and forces that little kick from Stuart Moore. Crazy stuff.
9 seconds. Okay.
Players all out on their feet running back with that.
Well, no end game wobbles this time from Ulster after that breakaway. 50 seconds to go. They will be through to the semi-finals. If it's Edinburgh, they played them before in the semis. In Scotland, you might remember when a late Iain Madigan penalty took them to a narrow victory. In fact, Madigan landed 2 brilliant kicks in the last 5 or 6 minutes. Or will it be the Stormers in Cape Town? Stay tuned to Premier Sports tomorrow to find out. Forecast in Cape Town tomorrow, by the way, is excellent. Warm sunshine. Okay, a little break in the game before this next line out, boys. Your player of the match, Stephen Ferris.
Yeah, Alan Quinlan and I have chatted at length the whole way throughout the game. Some really good performances by a number of Ulster men, but one guy who stood out, world-class skills, heavenly passing, especially off his left hand tonight, energetic in attack and defence. What a talent he is. James Hume is my URC player of the match.
Every mistake and every response by Ulster being cheered by this almost full Kingspan Stadium. Not quite a sellout.
He's got it, first man.
Henderson goes in, steals the ball. Brilliant by Henderson. And the clock is in the red. And that will be that. And Ulster march forward to the semi-finals. And listen to the noise around this stadium.
And they deserve it, Robbo. Brilliant. They executed so well. Really punished Munster when they made those mistakes tonight. You said it, Stephen, about James Hume. Brilliant. Some great touches. Baloucoune, Stuart Moore, 2 tries for him. Really tactically got it right. I think early on Munster punched a few holes around the fringes. Couldn't get the scores and with the territory they had early on in the game, and their backline was brilliant, sublime, led by that man.
Well, in the end, Munster have been eviscerated by Ulster here at the Kingspan. Some really sparkling rugby, especially from the back line, who had some golden moments. The full-time score in the first of the playoff games in the URC, Ulster 36, Munster 17. Stephen, We've heard from Cooney there about the disappointing aspects of Munster's performance. What about the positives from Ulster?
I think it's the confidence that they played with tonight. You know, Munster came to Belfast 6 weeks ago and beat this Ulster side pretty well in the end. But Ulster tonight, just their skill set on show, their accuracy with ball in hand, their defensive mindset when they had to scramble and get on the line. And every opportunity they got, they took. Fair play to Ulster.